A second woman is now accusing Virginia's lieutenant governor of sexual assault as scandal consumes the state's government. All three of the state's top officials are facing calls to resign. CBS reporter Nicole Killian has the latest on the political crisis in the Commonwealth.
Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax appeared upbeat as he left his home Saturday, a day after Meredith Watson, a second accuser, came forward claiming that he raped her in a, quote, premeditated and aggressive attack when both were Duke University students in 2000.
I'm thinking for everyone involved. Lieutenant Governor Fairfax has a family, he has young children, he has other people who were impacted by this, and so I think it will be best for him to resign.
Fairfax called the latest allegation demonstrably false, and he said he would not step down. Fairfax is losing support fast. A Virginia delegate and fellow Democrat said he plans to introduce articles of impeachment Monday if the lieutenant governor didn't resign.
It's going to take Democrats to remove an African-American office holder from office, and that is another political issue fraught with horror.
The top three elected officials in the state are all caught in the middle of potentially career-ending scandals.
I look back now and regret that I did not understand the harmful legacy of an action like that.
In his first interview since acknowledging that he wore blackface as part of a Michael Jackson costume 30 years ago, Governor Ralph Northam told the Washington Post he now wants to fight for racial equality in his state. Virginia's Attorney General Mark Herring also admitted that he once wore blackface at a party in the 1980s. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Richmond.
And Phil Mateer and I asked former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown what he thinks about the legislators of Virginia.
Well, Virginia's, it is so groovy, so wonderful, such an incredible experience. Can you imagine blackface and the other things that they're talking about and the relationships between each one of the elected officials and a Republican right-winger kind of Trumpite standing there waiting to be the fourth in line? You know those Democrats are going to back off the Al Franken motivations and say, let's be a little more practical.
Yeah, I mean, the folks who stood up and said, well, we want to be very consistent here, and we are going to apply the same standard to our Democrat governor as we would just anyone else. And then the sexual assault allegations come out against the lieutenant governor, and then we have the attorney general confessing to wearing blackface, and all of a sudden, Northam as governor doesn't sound like such a bad thing. Everyone's backing off of that initial call for resignation, and it's definitely, everyone seems to be sort of staring at each other right now, daring each other to move.
But if the standard holds, and it was the reason why Al Franken was forced to resign or told to resign, and it was the main objection to Kavanaugh, the idea that a substantiated, credible allegation must be heard, must be. Does that rise to the level for people to resign?
And only the Democrats are in the category of adhering to the so-called standard of perfection by resigning. The Republicans, from the top on down, from Trump on down, it means absolutely nothing.
So my thought is, why resign until the allegations for all of these folks have been thoroughly investigated and vetted? Figure out what the truth is.
Well, because we have, as Mayor Brown indicated, we have sort of the Al Franken standard, which means allegations sometimes, if they seem credible, are enough to force someone to resign. They say, look, investigation in due process is something that you get in a criminal setting, but you don't have a right to be in office. And if your credibility is sort of shot and you're now unable to lead, it's time to go. And it seems like somebody's going to have to pay for this, right? We've got three people, three issues, and somebody's going to have to end up stepping down. And at this point, it seems to be coalescing around the lieutenant governor.
Well, he's accused of a crime as opposed to doing something that is insensitive or stupid or possibly racist, depending on how you look at it.
That's right.
All right.